Good morning. It's good to see so many of you here this morning, and we've been very much looking forward to welcome you to this symposium, which we've been planning for several months, and we tried to put together a program which appeals to many of you. So when I say we, this needs some explanation because it's not so easy to explain how we are. And to explain that, we need to go into our project for the future, which is the Mary Elizabeth's Hospital, which many of you probably have been involved in for many years already, but some of you will be unfamiliar with. So the Mary Elizabeth's Hospital is a hospital for children, young people, and pregnant ladies, and it will open in 2026. And it's a very ambitious project, establishing one of the leading children's hospitals in Europe or maybe in the world. We're trying to apply new concepts for this hospital, where we try to make the hospital a place more like home than a hospital. Living every day, also when you're sick, is the concept for it. So we want to make a hospital where everybody feels safe and a bit at home. And we want to combine playfulness and learning and professionalism into a unified concept for it. So this is the ambition, and this will go through all sectors which the hospital is working with. The hospital is very close to here, actually. For some of you who want a bit of a walk later on in the lunch break or so, it's about 2 minutes to go to the hospital. We are situated here in the auditorium, and if you just walk a bit across here, you can see the building site over here, and it's already almost full height, but it's going to take a while after that to be ready to 2026. This is the building site as it looked in the 18th of August this year. So it's a 7-floor building, having all the facilities in which we wanted for the children's hospital. There's going to be a connection to the rest of the hospital. So the power is that we have a children's hospital connected to the ordinary hospital and all the facilities which we have there. If you go into the front entrance of the hospital, there is already a section of the hospital built ready, which is a one-to-one model of the hospital where we can try out different things like patient rooms and outpatient clinics and so on. So you can see what the outer surface will look like. It is a special shape, forming like 2 hands with 4 fingers, basically. And it's very much meant to be like a home with a garden, with a kitchen, with a living room, and with a private room and a terrace to make people feel at home in all sectors. There's going to be all sorts of different departments, of course, including a neonatal intensive care unit, which is up here on the 4th floor, a pediatric intensive care unit on the 3rd floor, operation and diagnostic facilities on the 2nd floor. So everything very close together and easy to get to. And this gives a lot of opportunities to perform advanced diagnostic and research projects in this setting. So just to give impression about the size, it's going to be 150 beds for children and 33 for adults, 15 operating rooms, 57 outpatient rooms, and a diagnostic center, including nuclear diagnostics and imaging diagnostics. We'll expect to have about 1,050 staff members and 175 researchers working in different areas, and 102 PhD students. So, and one of the plans for the new hospital is also the establishment of a cerebral palsy center in the hospital, both for children with cerebral palsy and for young adults, adolescents with cerebral palsy. This center has been established by a grant from is about to be established by a grant from the Elses Foundation. And the Elses Foundation is a private foundation which improves quality of life for people with cerebral palsy and their families, including research, knowledge dissemination, and funding to associations and individuals working with cerebral palsy. As a part of this CP clinic, and now we come to the actual reason for us meeting here today, is the establishment of an MRI scanner which is connected to the CP clinic, dedicated to diagnosis and research of early brain damage. So we have the chance to start an MRI facility in 2026, which we can design from scratch. And this is both a blessing and a curse, of course, because we have not much to build upon at our site, but on the other hand, we can do it the way we want it to be. So this gives a lot of opportunities, but also a lot of choices which we have to make. And that's why we invited many of you here today and want to discuss this in the next 2 days. What kind of other choices we should make and what considerations should we do when designing such a facility which can do all the activities we want to. So we established a steering committee, depending on most of the people are here today. And so we want the MRI facility to be operational from 2026 and living up to the highest international standards. So the idea to have a symposium was developed rather quickly after that because we said we need some advice on how to do that and discuss the different options and opportunities. So we wanted to bring together people with different backgrounds and discuss how we are going to approach this problem. So the background of the people here today is different or variable. We have, as a basic, we have people interested in neurobiology with an interest in imaging, and people interested in imaging with an interest in neurobiology. So it's radiographers, pediatric neurologists, neonatologists, physicists, radiographers, physiotherapists, and many others here today. So a lot of knowledge to be brought together. So what are we going to look into? So we put the program together with a number of questions. First one is the practical aspects of the imaging the brain in children. How are we doing that? What's the hardware requirements, software requirements? How do we prepare children? Then how much can we learn about imaging from animal models? What can animal models have different possibilities than we do in humans? So what can we learn from them? How can we apply this to human imaging? The other question is, of course, and this is a central component for the CP Center, is how can we predict outcome by early imaging? How can we intervene early to kind of influence the outcome of the children affected? And what's the role of longitudinal imaging? With imaging in the right setting, we can do repeated imaging in children throughout development. So how can we use this knowledge of a longitudinal imaging in the diseased and healthy brain to learn about disease processes? And then how do we design the future MRI scanner? We don't want an MRI scanner which is only operational in 2026. We want it to be operational for much longer than that and also be designed for the future. And there we have invited 3 major producers of MRI scanners to give their vision of the future MRI scanner. So just to have a quick overview of the program. So we already have a slight change because one of the speakers from the first session is slightly delayed. So the first session is going to be how to image the developing brain, the practical aspects, scanning hardware and all that with 3 presenters. But as I said, one of the presenters is a bit late, so we have an early lunch. We could move the lunch ahead, so we have lunch at 12. And hopefully the presenter from this session is going to be around at 1 o'clock, so we have a lunch break from 12 to 1. The next session is imaging animal models of brain development and early injury, with Helle as a chairperson. And there's the industry symposium this afternoon. So I hope we stick to the times later on this afternoon. And then we conclude at about 4:30, and there's a dinner at 7 o'clock for those of you who have registered for that. It's in the Tivoli Gardens, and we'll come with a bit more explanation on where to meet and how to get in. You should have gotten a ticket for your entrance to the Tivoli, because if you don't have the ticket, you have to pay to get in. So and you're of course welcome to go to the garden before and stay longer. They close at midnight, I think. So that's the program for today. And tomorrow we start at 9 with a session on predicting outcome, which with invited speakers from Italy and from London. And we have an early lunch tomorrow as well. And then there's a session on longitudinal development. I hope many of you will stay for the last part of the day, because there we will actually try to draw conclusions from the whole day and make a plan for us, or kind of some things to consider for us in the future. So if many of you stick around, and I hope many of the presenters and the chairs will be here as well, so we can have a discussion on what is important when designing such a facility as we have. So I hope we have two interesting days with these topics, and thank you for coming here, and talk to you through the meeting later on.